Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Gamer Core. This is our eighth
God
review.
damn. All right,
What's
eight.
up?
Is it our eighth? Oh yeah, it is because it's nine.
Yeah, all right, yep. This is our review on The Last of Us Season 1, Episode 8. And as always, I'm here with my wonderful co host, Luigi. Say what's up.
That's me. I got. Yeah. What's up?
This man was about to start rapping DNA. What was that? I
DNA.
got I got I
Yeah. I got
Jesus.
honor in my DNA. Let's go.
uh,
Fucking
that's why I stopped, bro. Damn.
damn, dude. It's only a second, and I'm off key. It's not gonna
I
work.
know, but it's still, bro.
Don't worry
Still,
too much
I
about
ain't
this. You're
taking no
good.
chances, bro.
I didn't know
Anyway,
this was a network for. Okay, let's go.
nah, that's crazy. Anyway, yeah, we're here for our second to last episode review for the show, and I just have to say, um,
The fuck is going on?
I am not looking for whatever.
There's a beep.
I heard that too, actually.
Yeah, I don't know
Um,
what that is, but all right, we're good.
I just have to say that I'm not looking forward to the last episode next week. Um,
It's gonna make or break the show, especially because it has a short runtime.
yeah.
I think it's
Um,
the shortest of all of them so far.
more importantly, just because I know what's coming.
That too.
I mean, all of us know what's coming, but like I know what's coming after what's coming.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you know, um,
I will
but
soon also by probably next episode, so we're good.
yeah, yeah. So, um, we're gonna go ahead get into some spoiler talk. What the hell? What was that? Was that you? Or was that me?
Of what?
Oh, I heard a Discord notification. Okay, never mind.
Oh, I think that was yours.
What the fuck is that?
That was me. That was my ringtone. My notice. It was Raul. He
Oh,
said he's coming on, but it's fine. Continue. Let's put the banner
okay.
up.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna go ahead get into our spoiler talk. Let me go ahead because
Oh,
for
he
some
does that.
reason I always forget to
Harry
bring this up
Potter.
before we start.
Joe Miller. The
We're
man
gonna go
who
ahead and get to our spoiler talk. If you have not watched the episode, and if you care about spoilers, then this is your time to go ahead and get the hell up on out of here. But if you have watched the episode, or you just don't care about spoilers, then you can stick around. But we're gonna go ahead and yeah, we don't got Raul to do the sound, but it's all good. We're gonna go ahead. Spoilers will commence, and I guess we can do that actually.
Yeah,
Spoilers will commence in 3, 2, 1.
there we go. Honestly, we should have done that from the beginning.
Yes, sir. All right. The Last of Us, episode 8. Man, oh man. Okay. So episode 8. When we are in need.
There we go.
Ellie crosses paths with a vengeful group of survivors and draws the attention of its excuse me of its leader. A weakened Joel faces a new threat, directed by Ali Abbasi, and uh and yeah,
That's it. That's all there is for the
that's it.
synopsis. That's short as fuck. I guess they wanted to save people to
Yeah,
watch.
no, they're always usually very short.
Yep, yep.
Yo, there's Raul. What an episode. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Stacy, spoilers, in the final episode of the season, Joel finally gets Grogu to safety with Luke Skywalker. Though I might have confused my Pedro Pascal media. Yeah.
Yeah, he asked what galaxy?
What galaxy? Yeah.
What galaxy?
The Cordyceps galaxy.
Of
Uh,
course. And imagine that's an actual string
true.
theory. Anyways, yeah,
Um,
episode 8. What a hell of an episode! Not gonna lie, this. Thankfully, I managed to watch it. Otherwise, I would have been on today. Um, but I did because I saw a clip on TikTok about it, and that just got me hype, and I really want to see it, so I did, and it was well worth it. Um, I don't know any of the director's work, but I remember that Raul said that his past works was brutal. I don't know if
Hmm.
it like because he has that perspective.
Yeah.
Me, it was brutal, but I think with the game, and what this one, this segment, this arc had was that the game had a little bit more length time to kind of develop everything, while this one was a bit shorter on that end. Um, but yeah, I mean, you want to go ahead and say your shit first, or
Wait, what do you mean about the game had more time to develop?
so like so in the show we got new items, right? And then I think in the show, seeing through Joel's eyes when he's looking for Ellie, right? All the like added messed up things that like David has done for the community and like all the people that follow him. That type
Hmm.
of sort of thing that
Mm.
we're able to see throughout the like lore of the game world compared to what we saw here, which was pretty empty. Like we saw the town was pretty grim, and in the game to me it seemed like they were thriving, like they were fine with everything that they were doing, and they just wanted it to be thriving, right? I
Yeah.
don't know, that's just a me thing, but in terms of brutality to what happens to Ellie, that yeah, that stays the same. That one's still like shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted you to clarify a little bit, but yeah, I definitely think yeah, there is like some some added things that weren't in the game. Like we didn't get that deep
Yeah.
into the we didn't get into in that deep into like the community that David was a part of.
Yeah.
And actually, surprise, David's his side his right hand man, whatever, is played by Troy Baker,
Joel, yeah.
the video game Joel, which is sick.
Yep.
um
I always forget Troy
Once
Baker looks
again,
like
done
the same
better
in the
than the game.
caricature.
I agree. Derpy. What's up, Derpy? How you doing? Abasi was the perfect pick to direct this episode. Oh, 100%.
Don't
That
know his
the
password, so sure.
Yeah. um his his I really like his the way he directed this episode.
Yeah.
This was done, dare I say, perfectly, honestly.
Yeah.
Um So we do the episode starts off, and of course Ellie is still dealing with the fact that Joel is still recovering from being stabbed.
Yeah, Joel's
So and so she's learning how to fend for herself when Joel isn't available,
yep.
basically. And so she goes off and she's going to find, food. She's going to find game so that she can kill, so that they would have something to eat, because obviously it's freezing and there's probably like not there's there's like not anyone really, like, I don't know, there's not an abundance of food.
Yeah.
So she has to go out and get her own. um might be my second favorite episode, to be honest. Oh,
I have to recap all of them, not gonna lie, because a lot of them blur together. But
I think this may be my second favorite as well. I would have to say my first favorite is definitely going to be the Sam and Henry episode, for sure.
that one's good. Yeah.
Um, my top three so far, up until episode 9, because we obviously we haven't seen episode 9, so my top three so far have been Sam and Henry, this episode, and then the first episode.
Mm, all
So,
right. All right.
um, but yeah, so um, and she comes into contact with, after shooting the deer, the deer runs off and dies, and she comes in, and these two guys find the deer that she shot.
Which is
um
David and James, who are played
mm,
by the bad guy, of course, and then Troy Baker. Um,
Hmm.
and then yeah,
David, who is played by Scott Shepard,
that's what his name is.
and yeah,
Scott. Yeah.
James, who is played by Troy Baker.
You were
So,
saying?
and they have an exchange, obviously, and David is telling Ellie that he can help her, because he thinks that Ellie cannot survive on her own.
I mean, his whole mentality is based on some very just
Yeah, it's
nastiness
yeah.
mindset.
So
He trying to groom, but yeah. He's
yeah,
trying to
yeah, he
persuade
was
Ellie to come with him.
he was really trying to have a bride and groomer moment. But
Hmm.
so it was pretty disgusting. But anyway, so they Ellie, they David and Ellie have an exchange, and he pretty much lets her know that like he knows that Joel killed one of their people,
Yeah,
one of the members of their community
which was the three guys that we saw at the end of
in the last
episode
episode.
6.
Hmm.
Yeah, with the three guys looking into the thing. Which game wise, we never really immediately got it. It was like hinted at that somewhere along the line of their journey they had killed like part of their town and whatnot, and they've been hunting them ever since. But for this, it was like it's cohesive of like the three people that we saw before are the people that belong to that group.
Hmm. So I think it was four. Yeah, it was
Four,
four.
yeah. Because three
Yeah,
returned, three returned.
yeah. So um yeah, so and Ellie ends up running off after they give her the medicine that she asked for
Yep,
to help Joel. Ellie runs off and she goes back to the hideout that her and Joel were at, and she administers the medicine to Joel.
yep,
Um, but what she doesn't know is that David and James both followed her tracks through the snow, and so she's tracked down, and this was very tense because even though I know what happens from the game, it was like damn. The whole time I was thinking like damn, is Joel really done, bro?
yeah.
Like they really made it seem it
I
do
mean,
it they do
theoretically,
so
in real
well.
life, realistically, he should have because that infection was bad and he was
Yeah,
internally bleeding.
yeah.
100% he was internally bleeding. But
Hmm.
we'll let it pass because it's
I
film
mean,
wise.
that's what happens when you pull out the object that's supposed to stop you from bleeding. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's
Either if it was still there, I doubt Ellie would have figured out how to save him and from the bleed out because he's still internally bleeding and shit
yeah.
was ruptured. But point is that yeah, he looked done. He looked done. He looked sickly. He was sweating. He was doing all that, which
Hmm.
he put a Batman in after that whole thing. But yeah, Maz was dead. Maz looked like a walking corpse.
Yeah, yeah. So and so we get to the point where Joel is actually he when Ellie gets captured. They take her to a cage and they stuff her in the cage while she's unconscious. And oh boy, man, dude,
The shit that
David
they was
David in the game is a lot more like, how do you say, he's a lot more. Well,
tame.
no, I'm
'Cause I
sorry,
mean,
not
they're
the
both
game.
equally. Or what do you
I
mean?
I want to say David in the show is a lot more. That man's like in the game, it was a lot less evident to me, but like I feel like in the
Yeah,
show they made it a lot more evident that man is a groomer,
yeah.
bro. He is
Also,
disgusting.
I mean, props to Scott. He's probably a good guy in real life, but when you I don't think they stereotype casted him, which is a term used in the industry to like cast people specifically for their looks, not their talents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they did that for Scott, aka David, but
Mm-hmm.
the man does look a little off. You know, he the teeth in the face with the oldness and the balding, and they don't help. Not to say that if you're balding, you're like that, right? But I'm just saying the whole his whole feature doesn't help his case when he's talking. You know, at least in
Yeah,
show wise.
that's
Um,
true. That's true.
but it also brings a question of this is my theory, and it's always been my theory of survival. Um, I could write a whole 5 page essay on how in a post-apocalyptic world or apocalyptic world, the most vile and unheartedly are gonna survive because they're the ones that have less empathy and ethics and all those moralistic values that quote unquote good people have, right? Because they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
make choices that a lot of people wouldn't. Whereas like Joe, he kind of was a good guy, but like he kind of have to shut it down in order to survive what he did with Tommy and all that shit, right? That's a
Yeah,
little bit different. But people like David, those are probably gonna be the ones that are definitely survive. Um, but it fucking sucks because then you see shit like what we see here. Because imagine it wasn't it. Imagine it was someone else, someone that's actively a little bit more reserved and like shy, not very, not like wouldn't do all the shit that Ellie does, right?
right.
Um, but yeah, that man's he did it good. He played well playing the bad guy because now we all hate him, which is dead.
Yeah, true,
Good. So,
true.
but yeah.
You know what? I feel bad, honestly, because that Hannah girl, uh, when she
Oh
was like, "You should kill him,"
yeah,
and then
yeah,
I did not expect that to play out the way it
yeah.
did.
Because that all
I
that scenario was new. We didn't expect that
Yeah,
shit.
we didn't see that, and I feel bad because it was like so out of nowhere that when he smacked her, bro, I started laughing, bro. I
Yeah,
like I
I'm like,
I
damn.
felt so bad because like this girl is like mourning because
Yeah, her
her
dad was
dad,
the one that got killed. It wasn't,
right,
and
but
it's
it's just
justified
like
anger. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think what got me a little bit more from because I did laugh after that slap was the fact that uh he kind of like does the whole thing knowing your background to his character. Everything when he's around a certain age group feels off, you know, and especially
true.
after knowing that and then seeing the whole Hannah aftermath is like you think you don't have a father now, but you do. You always have a father with me. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. That was
you're
really
taking the priest role a little too well, man.
yeah. It was really it was really he was really strange. But anyway, so Ellie is kind of just basically fending for herself inside that cage, and comes back. David comes back and he starts talking to Ellie, telling her all this. God, bro, I was like cringing this whole time, and I was like, "You are my guy. You were
Yeah,
weird," and she so he's like talking to her, telling her like, I know who you are because you're just like me. Like we have violence in our hearts.
yeah,
He starts telling her like uh trying to be relatable with her,
yeah.
and
Which I mean, in terms of the creators, they also said that Ellie looks at him like off putting because she knows he's telling the truth because of the whole like he has a violent heart and whatnot. So he
right.
knows like what's the saying is fuck, I forgot the saying where it's like you know yourself well enough to know it in other people, right? Kind of like
Mm-hmm.
how like men, whenever you hear a woman that's your friend talk about another guy and what they're doing to like for relationship stuff, right? And you can kind of pick off that it's a little off-putting. Is like, oh, he just wants to get in your pants, and we're advising you
Right.
not to continue, right? Kind of like that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, having that director say that and kind of bring that new piece of information and just dialogue that's not in the game, kind of like, oh shit. So I know kind of how Ellie is in the second game. So for this, like, it kind of puts in perspective, and I think that's how they might rearrange. Like they're kind of planting seeds for the second season that's now confirmed. But yeah, that whole dialogue definitely, like, damn,
Yeah,
I don't like what you're saying, but it's
yeah,
fine.
exactly.
I don't like what you're saying,
I
but it's
don't
fine.
like how you talking to me, bro. So he gives her a little speech, and she kind of leans into him, making him believe that she is kind
She's
of
falling.
falling for what he's saying,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Breaks the breaks the breaks
she
the
breaks
thingy.
she breaks his knuckles.
Yeah.
She breaks his fingers. Um, so he gets pissed and decides that, you know what, I think I am going to chop you up into tiny pieces. Uh, so he leaves, and Ellie Ellie what happens after that? I It's kind of
They
slipping my.
leave, and then we see Joel hunting, and then the guys that he left to look for Joel, they're still there, but Joel's like waking up, and then he comes out of the fucking shadows when one of them goes into the basement and
Oh
figures
yeah,
out. Yeah, he
right.
comes out of
Yeah.
nowhere. That scared me. I legit jump scared when he came out of fucking nowhere. He Batman that got that guy with a knife, like still barely waking up, and I guess adrenaline
Mm-hmm.
kind of helped him while catching the other two guys. And then he did the whole interview scene that we see in game. But this one, I think, showed more. He's already badass in the game, but this one showed more emotion, I think, to me. Something that
Mm-hmm.
you can get in voice, right, from Troy, but you can't get facially because there's only so much
Yeah.
motion captures you can get with your facials.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then not just that, I don't think I've ever heard Pedro fucking scream like that where he says, "What town?" I'm like,
Right.
damn. I don't know, Raul. You've seen Narcos with him in it. I don't even think he's been that angry sounding in another piece of his works. I don't know Game of Thrones. I don't know, like, I know in Kingsman he's not. He's like suave with it in Kingsman and whatnot, and some other works are like kid worthy and whatnot. Even in the one with Nicolas Cage, he was like the goofy guy. Uh, yeah, so seeing him in this, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if they put him up for an award this coming this coming award
Oh yeah,
season.
no, I wouldn't be surprised if either him nor Bella Ramsey
Bella, yeah,
get put up for an award. No,
yeah,
absolutely.
because
Um,
once we see the whole interrogation happen, we cut back to David and James coming into the room to grab Ellie and begin the chopping process because he's tired of it. Then she reveals that, like, she's infected to kind of stop or slow it down at least,
to
and
distract them, yeah.
yeah, and because she
Mm-hmm.
bit David, and he's like, "I'm infected, so are you? Fuck you." And then
Mm-hmm.
James, because it's like cordyceps road, they never heard of someone being infected that's not infected, right? Like Ellie is.
Right.
He's like, what are you gonna do, David? Like, yeah, I can't allow you to be in the community, right?
And then Ellie comes over with the meat cleavers. Ah!
Yep. And then before we get into the final arc, I gotta mention, I think James, and overall, I think the entire community knows how David is. I'm not gonna lie to you,
Yeah.
based on
You
hints and
can kind
how,
of tell
yeah,
based off of like you
actions and
some when
choices.
you're good at reading a room, you can kind of tell that like they knew that David was of a certain nature based off of how he was, like it's like how he came in after they came back with the deer. You
Hmm.
remember that? So
Yeah,
when they
yeah, yeah.
came in from the deer and they were like, he was like, got a big one, and then they all just looked at him. Mainly because I'm guessing
James probably
James
told,
told,
yeah,
yeah, he
because
told
he came
everyone.
back with the medicine from the
Right,
townsman.
right. So they knew, they were like, David is not a good person,
I
like
think it's
whatsoever.
a matter of, like, we're all kind of, we don't have that certain skill set and survival technicality that we need to do, like killing people and hunting. So
Mm-hmm.
we need that one person to lead, because he said he's like, they chose me, and I'm like, well, they probably had no other choice aside from you and a couple others, right? Because all the other
Right.
dudes look skinny and scrawny as hell. Um, but still, like, we still need someone with virtue to kind of put food on our tables and whatnot. So it's like no other choice. But even like James, when they captured, by the way, when they captured Ellie, that wasn't in game. I know they killed her horse, but she just, it like falls over, and then they catch us like going through the hotel, and they end up being behind us. In this
Mm-hmm.
show, bro, Ellie went fucking flying when James shot that horse. That
Yeah.
shit was funny
Yeah.
as hell. I'm not gonna lie. Because that should that a horse's speed is equivalent to like 20 miles a car, and then like if you crash, you can feel those 20 miles, even if it's a bumper, like you can feel that speed.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, when they are like surrounding her, and that one guy says, do it, it's like, to me, that kind of hinted at me like they know what's about to happen to Ellie as a little girl for David, and James wants to like kind of put her out of her misery in a way. Because
Yeah.
even he said before that whole ordeal, when they were going after her and Joel, they were like, or James was specifically like, why not just let her go? I'm not trying to like judge your mercy or whatever, but just let her go. She's just quote unquote another mouth to feed. But I think it's like James secretly knowing like we can't let him do this shit to someone else, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so we kind of get hints around just overall the community, which I don't mind that. I would still like to see more, but that's just me being like interested in having that information. But after that, right, after the whole James got cleaved in the thing because he got distracted by the whole bite thing, we go into the third and final act of Ellie and him going hand to hand in a burning building.
Oh man,
Um,
this part was so, it just brought back so many memories from me playing the game
oh,
because I remember.
I thought you meant like it brought back like memories like PTSD because
Oh, I mean, yes, it was PTSD in a way
but from the
because I hated
game,
that because I couldn't.
yeah.
For bro, the AI for David in the
Mhm.
game was so like, it was so, he was so smart. I don't know why, but I must just had bad luck because it seemed like he knew everywhere I was, like regardless of what position I was in. I went to the kitchen. He would follow me to the kitchen
I think that was purposeful.
without me even being spotted.
I remember me doing that, but I was just I think ran to it, just straight to it. Like, let me just hit a 1-2 combo on this motherfucker real quick and
Uh,
get it done. Because I don't think he caught me that much. He's only caught me like when I didn't know that there was broken plates on the floor that would alert him of where you were.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd probably have to go back to see my reactions on that. But yeah, no, it was quick. I was like, oh, I escaped and now we're doing this. All right, let me add him. Fuck him.
Yeah,
Um,
he caught me like 5 times before I successfully got. Dude, I
yeah,
remember I was getting so mad because I'm like, bro, why am I making this so much hard? Well, it wasn't even me making it hard. It was like, why is this so much harder than I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like it
yeah, yeah.
actually is? It was like, it was annoying. But because, and also whenever I would go up to stab him, because I think you had to stab him
You had
like
to stab him
2 or 3
before.
times,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like before you get the final cutscene or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like this brought back memories, and I love the way that they shot it too, like seeing
It was
Ellie
good.
like sneak
Yeah.
around the diner, grabbing blades and things like that to go get that. That I love the way that this part of the episode, that this act of the episode was shot. And so yeah, basically, David is chasing Ellie through the diner,
Mm-hmm.
and and Ellie is finally able to kind of sneak around and catch him off guard with
One of his ones.
a bread knife,
Yeah,
and
I think it was a steak knife, right? The one with the
it,
point.
oh, yeah, it was a steak knife, yeah. And so he of course retaliates, bashing her head into the ground, slightly almost knocking her unconscious, but
Yeah,
she's conscious enough where she spots a meat cleaver
that David had that
underneath.
got knocked out after she stabbed him. Yeah.
Yeah. She spots a meat cleaver underneath the chair. She tries to crawl to the meat cleaver, and he stops her. And he, this is when things get really,
It's different from the game because this the entire dialogue and altercation is different. They
yeah,
changed it
yeah,
up enough dialogue wise to kind of like, oh damn, yeah, this motherfucker has been
yeah.
fucked up. Where David is like,
Yeah.
that's my, this is my, you
This
think,
is what I. This is my favorite part.
yeah,
The
you think this
fight.
will stop me? Like this is my favorite part about it. And then like he's doing the whole thing. I'm like, Jesus Christ! So he is. So he's done it before. Is what I'm
Yeah,
getting.
right.
He's
That's
done
what
it
I'm saying.
before.
Like, bro,
Which, by the
like
way, that also gives me it makes me question like with the Hannah girl, has he like that's the
honestly,
it's fucked up to think about that,
yeah,
but
nah,
like
bro.
it's a genuine concern show wise based on everything that we've seen throughout the episode. New dialogue and game lore included. Like he's probably
Hmm.
done it to the people. That's why we see little to no kids there. I think
I
because
mean, the fact
Hannah
that like
wasn't. Yeah,
you have to think as well. He okayed the fact to let all these people eat their dead.
yeah, I mean, he did
So
say
like,
that not everyone knew about it, but like when
yeah,
you're starving and someone offered you a plate of something that looked like cooked meat and pasta sauce,
mm-hmm,
I get it. Like I'm not gonna question it, right? Especially because me
mm-hmm,
being a picky eater, I'll probably adapt. I try to adapt my best. Like if in high terms, like I don't really like making like beans or whatever the fuck, but like if they don't really taste like anything to me. I just don't like the texture as well. But like if I'm hungry and I don't have money or anything like that, I'm gonna eat that or like an egg, just plain old egg. Like yeah, you're right. But point is, people were starving and not majority of them not knowing, and probably the ones that did know didn't want to have people throw up and whatnot and be like
right.
retaliate out of fear for David doing some shit. I get it. I
They
can
were going.
understand.
I ain't gonna lie. They was going ham on their food too.
Yeah, they
But
were.
uh, that's why. Like, I was wondering why they were so focused on, and it may have just been me completely forgetting about the fact that they were eating. That they basically cannibals.
Mhm.
I completely forgot about that from the game. So I was wondering why they were so focused on like when he brought her the meat, to
Yeah,
cook or whatever, and she was
yeah,
like, what is it? He was like, it's venison. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's the deer that they brought back.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Uh,
I remember it from the game that they were, especially not just that. Like even we'll have to ask Brad what he thought because he hasn't played the game, right?
yeah,
But even to me, like being astute on observation and how he worded things, they didn't have rations. The husband just died, and they brought it back because Hannah asked to bury him, and they kind of looked at each other like, "We can't right now. The ground's cold or whatever fuck, so you can't dig it up." I'm like,
right.
well, looking at James isn't gonna help. Other people like why is he looking at James like that, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
after the fact, like later that night, they are eating a full, like, well, I wouldn't say full, but like a full enough deep plate of pasta with a serving of human. It's like, well, you can kind of tell now, right?
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that I was like, oh, grody. There's
Yeah.
always
It.
cannibals in this fucking world, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, listen. In a world where basically all kinds of food are trashed because of cordyceps, like you can't eat anything that has bread or some type of yeast in it, like or
I mean, but there's
so.
vegetables that you can make without fucking being afraid of that. And
Well,
he's
no,
mentioned that other people have like farmed chicken and
I
shit.
mean, yeah, but like, okay, you have to think they're in the middle of a winter, so crops
Yeah,
are
yeah,
dead.
yeah. Oh no, I 100% know that. I know that, but that's why I'm like, I'm guessing they didn't have a young student to kind of be like, yo, we can build this inside one of these empty houses, right? Like, let's just weed
Mm-hmm.
farm it out and UV light it and whatnot. Do all the things that you would, right? Because that's a
Mm-hmm.
thing where it's called. I don't remember what exact. I think it was capsule gardening, where it instead of on the ground, it's like towering, and you can like do the whole thing inside, and it'll bloom and whatnot. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but point is, I'm like, damn, David really fucked you, huh?
Yeah, no, he did.
Yeah,
So yeah, David. Yeah, they made him a lot more uh sinister and nasty, horrible
yeah, yeah.
in this show because he was about to take advantage of Ellie, and
In a burning
Ellie
fire, he did not
in
care.
a burning fire.
Yeah, in a burning fire, dude. How you? That's fucking crazy. Like, it's fucking.
That's crazy. Like, I'm sorry, but if I'm in the middle of a burning building, I'm not gonna be think. I wouldn't be in that position in the first place. But I
Yeah,
like
of
this.
course.
I'm just saying. Like, I would not be thinking about like. No, what it. Anyway, yeah. So, and
Yeah,
Ellie gets him. She grabs the meat cleaver, right in his neck, and
yeah.
she goes to town all across his body. I counted 21 times.
Oh, did you actually
Uh,
count it?
21 times.
Yeah, that
She
moment I thought to myself, like, I wonder how many people also would want to do that, like
mm-hmm.
to thing. We're trying not to trigger people, right? Because this one is definitely triggerable. Um,
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah.
but like, how many people have thought like, yeah, Ellie, get his ass. Like, yeah, I wish I could
Mm-hmm.
do that type
Oh
of.
yeah, I did. I part of me was like, part of I don't. It's just kind of like it's kind of second nature for me. Like when I seeing somebody doing something like excessively, I'm like, okay, that's enough. But like when I was watching, I was like, wait, no, that's not enough. Keep getting his ass. What?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
so,
yeah.
so,
Nah, it's fucking wild.
but
After
yeah,
that, yeah,
that was
after that
nuts.
ordeal, basically the episode ends with like Ellie coming out and meeting up with Joel, and Joel basically like the first time ever he repeats the thing that he used to say to Sarah. It's like, it's okay, baby girl, I'm sorry, whatnot, and then they walk off. Um, and yeah, that's it. But like the entire episode was definitely deep. It was definitely intense. Um, I wish they I would have loved it to be a little bit longer just to kind of allow Joel. It wasn't about him. That's the thing. It wasn't about him. And I know the synopsis said it was him saving her, but this one was more of like Ellie saving herself because Joel's not gonna appear out of nowhere. This is still, it's not complete reality, but it's still real in the sense that Joel's fucked up right now. I'm surprised he could have even taken out those three guys, which shows his resolve. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I wish it would have showed a bit more of like just how fucked up, like just plain inside, no hinting, no that like show how fucked up David is, because we see it in the game a bit more with the dead body, him like threatening James in the game and all that shit. Like I think that, but overall, like that's just my thing of directing, right? Like what I would want. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like everyone's different when it comes to directing and script writing. Um, but yeah, no, this episode was great. What was that one thing I wanted to talk about? That was fucking Ellie, or no, not Ellie, Bella. Bella's performance in this I is definitely getting better and better at each episode, because those screams were feral. She has a way
Yeah.
to do those screams so feral like. I'm like, do you practice this at home? Do your parents not scream at you when you're practicing? Like, these are out of the bloom terror. Pure,
Mm-hmm.
like your throat is gonna hurt the next day. Like, I wonder the next set day, she's like, guys, I can't do today. Can we put a pause in it? Can you film Pedro scenes or some shit? But nah,
Mm-hmm.
she got that. Because I know people were saying that her acting, I think even Raul said that it's there, but it's still a little off, right? And she's still young. She still has time to like perfect all of it. Um, but this one really showed, I think, her level more compared to even last episode with where it was all about her and Riley. Like this one, if she does get nominated, this is probably the episode or the scene that kind of gets her there.
True. I definitely think so. Yeah, she did such a phenomenal job this episode, man. Um, and it's crazy because like I actually just thought back when Ellie was going crazy on David's body. In the game, they have Joel come in and
And bring
kind
her
of
off.
stop
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
But in this, they
No, it
just let
was
her
just
go to town
yeah, yeah, yeah.
on that that yeah, that was a
Which I respect. Yeah, because again,
they
it's
just
not about
told they
Joe. It's
told
about her.
Bella they told Bella just slash at his body as many times as you want to, and just like um, and when you feel like you're done, then you're done.
We
But
can cut. Yeah, that's when it's like
yeah,
I'm not gonna be the director. You be it. Just going to town. Because that for that, like from a behind the scenes perspective, you definitely want to allow what feels best. Because if you like you said, there's 21. Like if you pre-count it, how many times you want, or a certain amount of time that you need the scene to be, that kind of
mm-hmm,
it holds back the actor.
yeah,
It limits
true.
them to what they can do, right? Because you never, when an intense and emotional scene, outside of just this, like in general, like the whole talking with Tommy and Joel in episode, I think it was 6, the kin one. He's like, I'm scared. I've been having the same dreams like that. You can't just time it. You got to let the actor go at it, because otherwise
Right.
it's like you limit them. You limit them, which thankfully they didn't, or I don't know what they did for it, but it feels full fledged like Bella going 100% Detroit smash on that bitch.
Facts. That yeah. So, what would you out of 10? What would you rate this episode?
I give it a full. I give it a full. I'd say it a 9.5 out of 10, and that's just me because there were some scenes director wise that I was like, oh, I would have loved to seen this over this angle instead of this one,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
that's just me being prejudiced on director, um,
yeah. That makes sense.
but
I
it's
think
good.
yeah, I
It's
think
definitely
I give
great.
it a. I definitely give it a 9 for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is definitely my second favorite episode. Um, yeah, this was fantastic, Bella. Uh, of course, I mean, listen, you've been doing your thing the whole season, but you really did your thing this episode. So,
Yeah.
and of course, Pedro Pascal as always as Joel killing it.
Oh,
And
definitely.
then
Fucking
even
hell, man.
Troy Baker and Scott,
Mhm.
those guys they killed it. Everyone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts?
Yeah. Because this episode and the next episode are a few of the shortest. Next episode is gonna be the shortest one. I just remembered. It's officially the shortest one out of all 9. And we game wise, we still have a good hour and 30 minutes of like after the whole winter stuff, and we go to spring, or whatever the fuck. Yeah, spring.
Yeah.
Where like Ellie's going through the whole thing, and Joel like trying to talk to her, and you can tell there's a shift in personality throughout your movements and your gameplays and interactions with the world and in game. You can like you empathize with Ellie. I'm worried that next episode might be too short to show everything that they want to show, because I know we're gonna get the mom. I know we're gonna get that backstory of the mom and like Ellie overall, and I know we're gonna get the whole interaction. I hope they add like the whole change of personality with Ellie and the PTSD of what happened. But also we have to finish the overall story of getting her to the fucking Fireflies, and then having that whole ordeal of going John Wick in the hospital, right? Getting Eddie back. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that in itself is a lot. When you think about it topic wise and writing wise, it's a lot. So I just hope that whoever wrote it and whoever's directing does a good job fitting everything to where it doesn't feel like it's rushed.
Ali Abbasi actually he wrote this episode. He's writing.
The
He
next one,
directed this next one as well.
okay. Yeah,
So
I'm just worried it might it is a lot of data to kind of put in one script. And just in general, you know how movies feel rushed or too slow? That's what I'm
mm-hmm.
afraid of for next episode, because it's about 40 minutes or 45 minutes in total, and that's including credits and probably the interview shit that we get. So
Right.
we'll have to see. We'll definitely have to see, because damn, dude, this show, I think this show lit a fire for live action games. in the future, which I hope for the best. And maybe I don't know, maybe I can work on one someday, but we'll have to see.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's about it for me.
I agree. I think that I feel like as long as the game makes sense to go to live action, it could be done
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
really well. Um, Otherwise, so it'll give some of these people opportunity or the opportunity to go overboard with the things that they do going to live action with some of
Yeah,
these
yeah, yeah.
series because but anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's gonna be it for our spoiler review of The Last of Us. And from this point forward, in 3, 2, 1, spoilers will decommence. So, but also, that's going to be it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to everyone who came out. Derpy, Stacy, and Raul. We appreciate y'all for coming out.
Yeah, thank you. I remembered
Um,
why Ro wasn't on. He's doing cinema condition. Yeah,
oh,
he's
okay.
doing his own project shit, which honestly I should have been doing, but I watched the episode, I got my thoughts. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, okay, I got you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
forgot about that.
completely forgot. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure he
same.
mentioned it.
He mentioned it in
I
Discord, and then I just saw a tweet about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, guys. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. And yeah, Louise, send them out.
yeah. Thank you guys again. Like Keyon said, Stacy, Derpiro, appreciate y'all. Fucking let's hope, let's fucking pray to the gaming gods that next episode isn't rushed and feels nice. Because it definitely will be, I think, the most watched shit aside from like the season finale of House of Dragons. So don't drop the ball on that. And I mean, by next time we see you, I'll probably already play part two. So I'll probably maybe get to talk a little bit about that. I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's about it. Keon, why don't you go ahead and send them out? In terms of like just end.